It's a much-needed bye week for the Utes as they get set for the final stretch of the 25 season. Your home for the best coverage of Utah football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Second down and 15. Dampier on the rollout, throws a strike. Inside the 10, breaking free. Ryan Davis, touchdown Utah. In as the Wildcat quarterback. He fakes it to Dampier, the quarterback, and keeping it is Parker. Breaking a tackle. Parker into the end zone. Touchdown Utah. Carvalho, the deep man, just had a 23-yard punt return earlier. And here he goes again. Carvalho. Pass midfield, kicker to beat, he beat him, inside the 10, dives for the end zone, touchdown!
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hans Olsen, Scott Garrard, but more importantly, Frank Dolce.
It's Mr. Dolce.
How are you?
I think we had a rough lead into this
Yeah,
segment.
we did.
Yeah.
It's Mr. Dolce dressed like Mr. Rogers. That's a Mr. Rogers sweater.
No, it's not. This is not a button-down.
It's a Cosby sweater.
This is a quarter zip.
Do you want to hear some stupid info about Mr. Rogers and his sweaters? Did you know, Scott?
Probably not.
Did you know, Frank, that he introduced those sweaters because his mom knitted every one of those, and she passed, and he kept those sweaters and would put them on for every show to thank his mother that had passed away. That's a true story.
This could be like the origin story of Psycho. You remember the movie Psycho?
Oh, yeah. Mom had a big part of that.
Yeah.
I do not remember the movie Psycho. I don't know if I've watched the movie Psycho.
You should watch it.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you grow up in another country? What's wrong with you?
I
you
don't know.
American?
I did watch
Psycho.
Birds. Same writer? Is that
Yeah, well, it's Hitchcock. Yeah.
Birds? Is it the same writer? Same
Director.
Same director?
Same guy.
Is it the same guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Alfred
Well,
Hitchcock.
I'll go watch it for you. So the mom she raised a weirdo?
Yeah, I think you could say that.
Yeah.
I mean, Jason, his mom messed him up
Jason.
all too.
Yeah.
A lot of Freudian mom issues out there.
But
Oedipus.
stupid trivia for Fred Rogers.
Well, if Fred Rogers' mom would have gone a different direction, you would have seen Fred Rogers, the serial killer.
Did you? I remember watching Mr. Rogers. Did you watch?
Oh,
Mr.
hell
Rogers?
yes. Him feeding his fish.
I know, but even
Him
back
going
then,
to the
did you?
Never Never Land.
How did you feel about Mr. Rogers? I didn't. It wasn't one of my favorites.
No,
I
I didn't like it at all. And plus, those puppets scared me to death
what
too.
were that?
Lady
what was
Elaine
that
scared
thing?
you?
And then the train thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about Mr. Rogers.
Well,
I think I don't feel good about it. I think that's
I
what
always
would
liked when the delivery guys showed up because then they'd play like a little video that had some animation on it. That was exciting.
say. The best was when Eddie Murphy did it.
Oh, Mr. Robinson's neighborhood.
Robinson's neighborhood. This is how we answer the door in my neighborhood.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Frank, you good?
Those are classic.
You enjoying your bye week, Frank?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, why not?
Was this the right time for Utah?
No, Utah's gone back to back pretty good weeks. Like
You want to keep it rolling.
This is not a good week for a bye week. You want to keep the momentum going. No doubt. So, I mean, there's benefits to it, but I think it's hard. I just think it's hard taking off a week, and there's been a lot of talk about bye weeks for teams heading into the playoffs, and how that has not always worked out so well for the team that should be favored. That bye week can be damaging, rather than having a week where you're tested again. In fact, I was listening to a podcast this morning about resilience and Hercules. And the guy said you have to build your body inside and out so it's hard to kill. And the way you do that is you put stress on your body and increasing amounts, the ability to manage increasing amounts of stress. That's how you build your body so that it's hard to kill inside and out. And I think that's what happens on a weekly basis. Like you're putting your system under stress, and when you learn to manage stress, then you're improving.
More capable.
Yeah. That seems to make sense, right?
I mean, we talk about from a physical standpoint, lifting weights, running, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Sitting in cold tubs.
Cold tubs, yeah, for sure. But then, are you putting yourself mentally in stressful situations or where you get pushed that way?
Yeah, absolutely. That's building it inside and out.
Yeah.
So you put yourself in mentally difficult situations, reacting
much
to
like taking
something that's
your criticism and your jokes about us, put us in really stressful situations.
I feel like
you're building us up.
I don't say it often, but I feel like I'm doing a service to both of you when I look at you with a critical eye
And speak truth.
and speak the truth.
Speak truth into existence.
It's not always comfortable to do that.
No, it's not comfortable at all.
But I feel like for you two and for your evolution, it's really meaningful. And don't thank me. I don't need any sort of recognition for the service that I provide. Okay?
Just so everybody,
let's just make that clear.
Just so everybody's aware, part of my 50-pound weight loss was due to Frank. After the show concludes, we're walking out of the building and Frank goes, "What size bra do you wear?" Straight to me. Straight up.
I did not say that. I said...
Frank!
I did not say
Frank Jr. Dolce.
I did not say that.
Not on air.
What did you say?
I said man's ear. What size is your man's ear?
Hey, look, when you drop a lot of LBs, and my fear is now putting him back on, not because of health, not because of any. It's just like if Frank sees me put weight back on, he'll never let me live it.
You will know.
Yeah,
he will alert you to it.
Have you ever seen anyone who's done that? Who's gone through like a tremendous weight loss and then and maybe even celebrated it, and then it went the wrong way. Yeah.
That's why you can't.
The rebound.
That's why that's the hardest part, honestly.
Many.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, Scotty, you're exactly
right.
Yes, it's a hard thing to do that. Like to be so super dedicated, and you know about the effort and the challenge and all of things. You have to completely change your habits and everything else. And then that is a big. By the way, does that cause you anxiety? I mean, does that? I
lose sleep over it.
Yeah.
Like my nightmares are putting it back on.
Rebound gains.
Like I have dreams about it all the time.
Yeah.
Because the hell you went through to get out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All the time.
Well, you're in a great spot. Right now.
Look
Frank,
at you. I appreciate that.
I felt like the CFP showed great respect to the University of Utah on their initial rankings. No, I think so.
Out of the box?
Yeah, number 13.
Yeah.
That's a show of, that's a sign of respect on a 2-loss Big 12 team, is it not?
Oh, it has to be.
I think so, but look at the wins versus the losses. Like Utah wins, those are pretty dominant
whoopings.
Efforts. Yeah.
And the numbers are high.
And the numbers are really good. And then the losses, I think you could say Utah threw out 2 stinkers. I would say that. They threw out 2 stinkers, especially against Texas Tech. Winnable game against it was winnable against Texas Tech until the fourth quarter.
Oh yeah,
winnable game against BYU. I still think if you threw Utah and BYU out there together, I would probably give the nod to Utah. Like I think Utah would win that game, but I also think that could go back and forth. If you had a 10-game series or something like that.
I think it's respect towards Utah, but also some surprising respect for the Big 12. Because they're looking at a Utah team like, okay, your 2 losses were in conference. We think your conference is so good that we're going to keep you up there because not only are you a good team, but the teams you lost to were conference teams that we like as well. So we're not going to penalize you that much for 2 losses.
I think that Utah... I think they were treated well.
Think about this: the first ACC team that checks in is number 14 behind all 3 Big 12 teams. Now there's 5 ACC teams that show up in the first rankings, but their highest ranked ACC team is behind a 2-loss Utah team. And that's an 8-1 Virginia team that they're not buying. They're not buying the ACC. They're not buying Virginia.
Well,
they are buying the Big 12. And I do believe that this is positioning, if everybody finishes out the way they're supposed to finish out, this is positioning that you're going to have 2 Big 12 teams in the CFP, in the college football playoffs. And I think that, Frank, when I say showing a sign of respect to Utah as a 7-2 team with losses to Texas Tech and BYU, I think it's a big show of respect because it puts them solidly in position to make the college football playoffs without even making the Big 12 championship game.
I know. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? I agree with you. I'm looking over that list right now as well. Do you think anyone's overrated in this? I mean, are you making the point that Utah's overrated?
No.
In this?
No, not at all.
Or just a generous ranking?
Not at all.
I don't know about Virginia. I mean, look, Virginia comes in at 14. USC comes in at 19. Virginia doesn't beat USC. There's no, does Virginia beat USC?
No.
Does Virginia beat
I don't even think they
Georgia? Does Virginia beat Michigan?
And I think that's
they beat Vanderbilt.
And they're saying,
Do they beat? Yeah.
and they're saying we don't think they can beat Utah either.
Wow. Yeah.
Which honestly, if you
generous.
put those 2 teams together, I think Utah's probably neutral site, probably a 4.5, 5.5 point favorite.
Virginia's only decent win is against Florida State, and we saw Florida State go in the tank. They lost 3 after that. So they lost to Virginia, and then they ended up losing to Miami, Pitt, and Stanford before getting off the losing streak to Wake Forest a week ago. So that's not even a good win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other loss that they got was NC State. They lost to NC State second week. That's Virginia. It's just not a conference. It's just not a powerful conference right now. The Big 12 deserves 2 teams in the college football playoffs.
Look, Clemson came out of the ACC, and Florida State's come out of the ACC with the old college football playoff because they were so good, they didn't hold the conference against them. But that was a sign that they respected the team, not the conference. It had nothing to do with the ACC. It was just that they thought that Clemson was great, and so that's why they kept getting elevated. Now that there isn't a great team, they're like, your conference is trash. And so your best team in the conference, we're going to put at 14th. However, the Big 12, we think your conference is really good. And so we're going to put your 3rd team ahead of the first team in the ACC. It was a giant middle finger to the ACC.
I agree. I very much agree. Now, there was only 3 Big 12 ranked teams. I do think you could probably find a 4th and replace one of these ACC teams in that ranking. Like Pitt checks in at number 24 at 7-2 in the ACC. I would have taken a Houston or a Cincinnati and put them in that 24 mark. If that's the point that I'm trying to make, because they did drop 5 ACC teams in there and only 3 Big 12 teams.
That is also interesting.
Yeah.
So the Big 12 rankings are good, but the depth is lacking. And then you put 5 on the lower side with ACC teams.
Yeah.
That is also interesting.
Something else that stood out to me in the CFP Initial 25. There is not a single group of 5 team ranked in the college football playoff initial rankings. Now, what they did is they took Memphis out of the American as the potential conference champion and put them as the 12th ranked team in the CFP, because we know that one group of 5 champion gets the CFP bid automatic.
Right.
So they just took Memphis and they put them in there at number 12. But there's not a single ranked group of 5 team in the initial 25. Last year, 2024, finished with Boise State at 8, Army at 21, UNLV at 23, and Memphis at 24. I don't know what the initial rankings were, but I know that Boise State was high in the initial CFP rankings. So the point I'm trying to make is I kind of feel like we're real close to seeing that automatic bid to a G5 go away. What these rankings said to me was, hey, we're seeing it. Anybody who's good enough is leaving to the group of 4 with these NIL invites and the free transfer portal exchanges. And our group of 5 teams are being depleted, so how much room and wiggle do we give them? Even in a 16-team format that we go to next year?
Well, it's not settled yet. Remember, we talked to that guy at the Mountain West Media Day, and we said, hey, we're going to 16. He's like, no. They haven't settled on that yet.
So we're still at 12 next year?
We're still, as of right now, yeah.
Jeez Louise. Well, that's going to be bad. If they stay at 12, they're going to pinch the group of 5 out.
I think the only thing that would keep the group of 5 in, it's not because there's any respect towards any group of 5. It's the worry about lawsuits of pinching them out of the money.
Might be.
And so that's the only thing that's saving the G5s.
That or, I throw Memphis in at number 12 against number 5 Georgia.
It's essentially a first-round bye.
In a first-round game. Well, Memphis, you better beat Georgia. One of you group of 5s better do something big.
I mean, when Boise got shell-shocked in that first-round game, when they got a first-round bye, and it's like, oh, okay, you didn't deserve that.
In the initial college football playoff bracket, they've got Texas Tech and BYU. So, Frank, let me ask you.
Yes.
What's more likely? Let's just say that BYU is a one-loss team and Texas Tech is a one-loss team. They rematch in the Big 12 championship. Utah wins the next 3, which includes Baylor on the road, Kansas State at home, and Kansas on the road. They win the next 3. Do all 3 get in? The 2 Big 12 championship game participants and Utah, who by the time they win those 3 is going to be in the top 10? Or does the loser of the Big 12 championship game get bumped and
below Utah? It would be really difficult because you got that. You have to factor the head-to-head. Like,
yeah, but
how do you bump that?
It's happened.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
It's happened.
It's whether or not your committee looks at it and says, okay, that happened back in week 5 or 6, but week 12, we think these teams are on a different trajectory and they're playing better.
If that occurs, let's just say hypothetically, Utah goes on the next 3-game run and dominates the games like they have against Colorado and Cincinnati. I think you could make the case like, okay, Utah is on the right trajectory. If BYU takes a loss to Texas Tech, has a decent game, goes to the championship game, takes another loss, I think you could also make the case like not on the right trajectory. And maybe that a leapfrog occurs. I think it would have to be extraordinary circumstances for that to occur. I think so.
Let's say, just for the sake of conversation, I mean, you look at the wins for Utah, 43-10 against UCLA, 48-14 against West Virginia, 42-10 against Arizona State, 53-7 against Colorado, 45-14 against a ranked Cincinnati team in front of the whole country. Let's just say they keep this path.
That's what I mean.
Let's say it's 48-10 against Baylor, 54-7 against Kansas State. Then
that's a compelling team. That's a compelling football team to put into the playoffs.
Well, you know who else knows that? It's Kyle Whittingham and the staff.
Yeah.
They know it. They can't just eke out wins.
Yeah, Kyle can't be nice in the fourth quarter if he's up by 20. He's got to be up by 27, 34.
And he hasn't been nice.
No.
He's seeing the writing on the wall, and he's like, we know what we got to do. And if we can suffocate him out, we got to suffocate him out.
Would you rather...
Not making friends.
What would you rather... Let me ask you this. Would it be better for Utah to go on a 3-game run and not play in the championship game, or play in the championship game and take a loss?
In that case, if they are on a 3-game run and they're beating teams
the way we see them beat teams,
and BYU and Texas Tech play in that championship, but both have taken regular season losses before that championship game, it would be advantageous for Utah not to be in the championship game.
Because that would be if they lost in the championship game. That would be a 3-loss team.
Yeah, and we've seen that happen to where teams like, so let's say BYU loses, Hans laid it out earlier in the show. BYU loses to Cincinnati. Texas Tech loses to BYU. Mm-hmm. They both play in the conference championship game. It's not a great game. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Utah is on fire to end the season.
That's more compelling.
It would be, you might be penalized if you're BYU or Texas Tech by making the championship game.
Yes. So Utah's ideal path is championship game, win.
Yes.
Next ideal path is no championship game, win out.
And let your product speak.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And win out, win big, which they can do.
Yeah.
They can do.
When we were talking about Utah-Cincinnati last week, I said, I think that's a winnable game. You said, I think that's a winnable game. How committed were you to that statement?
To which one?
Utah beating Cincinnati. When we talked about it last week,
we both said to it.
We both said that's a winnable game. Yeah, I think Utah can win that game.
Did not think 45-14. No, but I thought, man, this could be a fingernail.
I don't know that I thought that either. I think I picked Utah by 10.
Lemus said you took Cincy in that game.
I think it was by. Oh, I remember. Actually, you had.
Lemma.
You had Utah 32. I remember when you
34 to something, 17,
32 or 34 to
20 something.
You had it as a 10-point spread.
Yeah,
and I
34-24 maybe.
And I think both Hans and I looked at you like, really?
Yeah.
You thought it was going to be closer.
You thought it'd be closer. Yeah.
I did.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We'll recap that game against Cincinnati. What went right for the Utes in that blowout win? Frank will tell you next, right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Gets you ready for Utah football more than the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready?
It's a much-needed bye week for the Utes as they get set for the final stretch of the 25 season. Your home for the best coverage of Utah football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G. Presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, Frank Dolce, your Ute Preview Show. Just because the Utes are on a bye doesn't mean Frank Dolce is on a bye. He's here spitting hot sports takes about the Utes as Utah coming off a blowout victory over Cincinnati.
We're blessed to have you, Frank.
Yes, we are all smarter and better people by being around you.
Are the worst.
What?
Because you always, whenever I say something that's even mildly complimentary about you two, then everybody. Exactly.
It's sarcasm.
That's exactly what I was about to say, is that nothing I can say is ever taken seriously by either of you.
Okay.
I think more generally it is by Scotty because he's a better person. Lloyd is included in this whole conundrum.
No, he's a dirtbag.
And then we come back and you say the
we all know
craziest things that are so.
No, dude.
You almost
like you
sound
can
like
know people.
You check swing there a little.
Hey,
people can tell.
Are Scotty and I sarcastic people though? No. You're sarcastic.
Maybe unintentionally.
No.
Yeah,
No,
you are.
We tell you exactly what's on our minds.
Like, for instance, I can tell you're benching over 315 right now, aren't you?
See, this is people know.
Your pecs are pressing against that red sweater.
Can you do that thing where you like
Can you bounce
sure.
them?
bounce them?
You bet.
Yeah.
Like this, Frank.
Bet.
Like this. My man's ear. You see me bouncing my man's ear?
By the way,
I can't.
By the way,
camera.
if you want to see Hans bounce his pecs, you can go on YouTube and just search KSL Sports Zone or go to KSLSports.com.
Do you do that?
Do we need to do it shirtless? Do I need to peel this off?
Do you do
get
that?
Get some real eyes on the camera?
Only Hands?
Can you
Onlyhands.com.
Can you believe that Sorsby was 11 of 33 in that game?
Yeah. Was that Sorsby or was that Utah that
Sorsby
responsible for that?
Sorsby was out of sorts in that game. Like Utah, I felt like Sorsby had, in certain circumstances, he had more time than he thought, but Utah was relentless. And he just had no comfort level. Sorsby had no comfort level.
When you're a quarterback and you're under pressure, and then all of a sudden you don't have pressure, how hard is it not to have happy feet? Because I was telling a buddy I was watching the Broncos game, and Bo Nix had happy feet. You could tell he had time, and he was escaping the pocket way too soon. And it's like, okay, something got into his head. As a quarterback, and you played the position, you know what it's like when you're getting rushed and you're getting blitzed and you've taken some hits. How hard is it to just be able to settle in, even when you do have pressure, and not feel that anxiety? Because it seemed like Sorsby was that way several times in that Utah game.
Yeah, I think that is one of the most difficult things to deal with because you want to. So every time you take a drop or every time you're doing anything, you have to do it with a sense of urgency. There always is this sense of urgency and timing, but you can kind of get comfortable with the timing of the game. When that is, for some reason, defensive pressure, whatever it is, and that becomes, the clock speeds up.
Yeah.
The most difficult thing that you can do is to try and slow down, have the game slow down, still make good decisions with the football. And so we always said, like, don't let one mistake turn into two mistakes. So maybe something's not happening up front. There's a mistake. You're under pressure. Now you're throwing the ball without going through your progressions, making the right reads, taking chances. Your one mistake turns into another mistake, turns into something else. So I think that's one of the hardest things to manage, is trying to slow down the game under extreme pressure. And at every level, it doesn't matter who you are. I mean, I think you could say there are guys who manage pressure well. There are guys who don't manage pressure well. But even at the highest levels, we watched Tom Brady at the height of his career in a game in a Super Bowl.
Giants
did not manage the pressure very well, and that's a guy that, like,
greatest of all time,
has seen it all.
Yeah,
absolutely.
One thing I really want to shake out of this team, because there was a very dominant performance. There was one point where I got a little bit nervous, and you guys will probably agree. So you go into half, you're up 24-7.
Mm-hmm.
Come out of half, Utah is forced to punt.
Yeah.
They punt. Cincinnati gets whatever it was, two or three plays. They have that pass over the top. They score.
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden it's 24-14. And you're like, oh, okay, crap.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's time to extend. Well, Utah comes out to answer. And what does Dampier do? He throws a pick. It was a critical moment. It was crunch time. And he throws just kick the field goal. You go up 13 points at that point. You're feeling really good about things. But Dampier drops. He's got 10 seconds to throw, and he throws it into coverage. And Cincinnati comes up with the interception, and you're like, oh, no, here we go. It was a terrible time for a pick. Utah controlled the first half. Cincinnati scored first in the second half, gets the interception. And if it's a really good team and Utah had any weakness, Cincinnati gets back in that game and potentially wins it in the fourth quarter. Instead, Utah was able to stomp them out and did some of their own damage after that. But I want to see that go away. And, right now, Utah is 63rd in the country in turnover margin. They've forced 11. They've given up 10. They're +1. That is not typical Utah.
No.
Mm-mm.
And if you really want to go to the heart of how BYU got that win, BYU is doing a really good job of controlling possessions. Right now, BYU is in the top 10 in turnover margin.
Yeah.
BYU is number 3 in turnover margin. They've forced 16. They've given up 6. They're +10. I want Utah to get back to old, good-fashioned Utah football where it's ball control. You do not turn it over.
I can't disagree with that. Do you remember what Dampier was last year? Touchdown to interception
I think
ratio?
it was like 8-8. It was even.
Yeah, it was
He was
1-1, 12-12.
Yeah.
He was
okay.
He's 1-1. Okay. Do you know what he is this year?
He's 3-1, isn't he?
15-5. 15
3-1.
touchdowns.
There you go.
That's what I called for.
Five interceptions.
I wanted 3-1 on pick to touchdown.
That's significant improvement.
Yeah.
Okay. Even with that, when Dampier drops back to throw, I still feel like that is Utah's offensive liability. Because you don't know situationally when he's going to make that decision. It feels like he's been coached and he's become more thoughtful about throwing the ball downfield, especially since the beginning of the year when I think he threw 3 picks in one game that were terrible.
Yeah.
But it still feels like that's the liability of this Utah offense, is throwing the ball downfield. And I am curious about if Utah is running the ball so well, the desire to continue to throw downfield and put yourself potentially in a difficult situation. Maybe I'm just reading that differently, but did it seem like that to you guys in the game? Utah's dominating the line of scrimmage, running the ball well, and all of a sudden they're dropping back to throw the ball downfield rather than some intermediate, more controlled passing route.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
So I wonder about that and how that will play out the rest of the year. But here's the other thing. At the line of scrimmage, it feels like Utah outmatches the next 3 opponents. And so if that's the case, if that's the truth, then the pass liability becomes small because you can run the ball. You should be able to run the ball.
Should be able to.
There is one.
Not to mention, Wayshawn Parker came on real strong. Those 2 games before the bye week, I talked about Wayshawn becoming the lead dog.
Yeah, you did. You sure did.
And he just needs to take it for these next 3. I'm looking at BYU undefeated and with the win over Utah. And if people really want to get to the root of how, they don't give up the ball and they take the ball away.
Yeah.
And all I would say to Utah, and it's hard because Devon is a gunslinger. He'll throw it. And it's hard because you don't want to take that mentality away from him. But you also got to stress to him, if we just go +1 in every game from here on out, the chance of us going 3-0 is 98%.
Absolutely.
It's 98% if we can just go +1.
Absolutely.
So please make every decision. Fine. We don't need to force it down the field. Let's take the field goal.
Yeah,
you don't need to force it.
Throw it out of bounds.
It's 3rd down. Drop it off. Let's get to 3rd and 3 off the drop off.
Absolutely.
But let's not push it into coverage. The +2 that BYU took on Utah, the 1 interception and the 1 fumble. That interception is kind of
that's the difference in the game.
It's unexplainable.
It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no. I agree.
And so you can't. What I don't want is us sitting here next Thursday, or I guess the Thursday following, and saying, "Oh, well, darn it, Baylor just got in the right coverages and they just stood over the top, and Dampier again with a throw that's unexplainable." You just can't have it.
Utah losing the turnover margin in any of the next 3 games is going to be the most devastating. Be the most devastating thing to happen.
Agreed, because it's the only way they don't win those games.
Matt Wells used to tell his quarterbacks all the time. He told me, the message is touchdown, first down, get down. Those are the 3 options.
Like dance?
Yeah.
Get down?
Get down, get down.
So you throw a touchdown. Tell me again.
Celebrate the first down.
First touchdown,
get down.
first down.
Or get down.
Yep. I love that.
Texas Tech was +2. So the 2 games that Utah's lost, they're -4.
Mm-hmm. Shocker.
Big shocker. So I love the point that you made, Frank.
Are you being sarcastic?
No, I love the point that you made.
He doesn't do that.
They can't. Those 3 teams can't win the trench. They won't win the trench. So I know that I can battle it out. As long as I don't give short fields and extra possessions, I can battle these wins out. Don't take the wins away from the dudes that are fighting every down with their fists give it to those guys and say, we're going to win this as dirty and ugly as we can. Hey, and if we get a lead and they're shoving the box full because they think, then let's go get some of those pretty points. We'll throw it over the top. We'll go get an extra score or two, but we're going to hit those scores when we know we've got those throws, not when they're ready for those throws.
Yeah. Hold that thought for a second. We got to go to break. Frank will expound on that coming up next. Hans and Scotty, Frank Dolce, Ute Preview Show right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's another battle for the Aggies, and the KSL Sports Zone has it covered. The Aggies return home to Logan for a battle against the Nevada Wolfpack. Your home for all the play-by-play coverage of Aggie football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. All right, Frank, I rudely cut you off.
First down, get down.
First down, get down. First down, get down.
You didn't rudely cut me off, but I was going to ask you if you thought Utah has improved at the line of scrimmage over the course of the year, because there were high expectations out of that unit coming out of camp.
Offensive line over the last 2 weeks has performed every bit what we thought they would. After getting bullied against Texas Tech.
Bullied.
Yeah.
Bullied. That was... Do you think that was a shock to everybody looking back? That was a shock to the system, the way they got pushed around at the line of scrimmage.
That treated me like a 2-week-old sushi roll at a gas station.
Yuck.
No bueno.
Yuck.
Left you questioning a lot of things.
Yeah.
And my second half of that question is, do you think Jay Hill's going to take the Penn State job?
Why? That's what Scotty cut you off from?
That was the second half of my question.
Now I'm kind of glad I cut him off.
Oh, my gosh.
That was the second half of my question.
Utah fans are screaming at you for bringing up BYU coaches. They don't want to hear it, Frank.
You don't want to talk about it?
If you were Jay Hill, would you take the Penn State job? Knowing that they just fired one of the best coaches that they've had.
He was on a 3-game losing streak.
Yeah.
Hey, let's do this for the just for the camera viewers.
Yeah.
Just use your head motion for the answer. Ask the question.
Do you think Jay Hill should take the Penn State job?
No,
or if you were Jay Hill, would you take?
Would Jay Hill take?
Would Jay Hill take the Penn State job?
Do you want him to ask the question, or do you want to ask the question?
Now, use your head and show us what your answer is on that. Yeah. You can only know the answer to that by watching the YouTube.
Yep. Go to YouTube, search KSL Sports. You get the live video stream of the show. And you can also get it at KSLSports.com.
There's a lot of money there.
A lot of money. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't you think there's a lot of opportunity there?
I can't believe
Yeah, but I just think that I think opportunity now sits where money is.
Mm. Who would have thought? I mean, I think you could make a case that Texas Tech is a really good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they keep doling out money like that, for sure.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It used to be you got 4 or 5 years as a head coach. Get your recruiting class through.
Yeah.
And then it became 3 years and 2 years. Now it could be a matter of 3 games and you're gone. So that's why everybody's complaining about these buyouts. Well, guess what? If I'm Jimmy Sexton and I'm the agent of all these coaches and I've got leverage, I'm like, yeah, my guy would love to be your next head coach. But here's the thing. You got an itchy trigger finger. So we're going to need a long contract and not a lot of outs.
And a big buyout.
Huge.
And a huge buyout.
But if you want to win the press conference and get this big name coach, we're more than happy to take it.
As we look at the CFP and we look at Ohio State and Indiana and Texas A&M and Alabama, of those top 4, who is actually the best team?
Ohio State. I think I would have a hard time betting against Ohio State right now.
I'm going Indiana.
They're dump trucking people.
I'm going to go with Indiana.
Really? You think Indiana versus Ohio State? Indiana wins? Or do you just want Indiana to win?
I want them.
I would want Indiana to win.
I want Indiana to win. I almost want anybody to beat Ohio State. How come? Why did Ohio State become so hateable? I think I know why, but what do you think it is?
Urban?
No, I don't think it's Urban.
I think it's their arrogance.
I think it's the current guy who is.
Oh, Ryan Day?
Who is. Yeah, I think that's what it is. His air.
Man, I think it's everybody. I think because Tressel. Did it go Tressel?
Sweater vest?
Did it go Tressel to Urban?
Yeah. I think there was somebody in between.
No, there was someone. It feels like there was someone in between Tressel and Coach Meyer.
Maybe there wasn't.
I feel like I just feel like the way they forced the Ohio State. I remember the first time I heard the Ohio State. We were doing with the Indianapolis Colts. They make you do like these ESPN videos, and so during media day, they walk each person in front of the camera, and you say where you're from. You say, you say your name,
yeah,
and then you walk off the camera. And the first time I heard the Ohio State was one of my teammates was from Ohio State. He walked up, he goes, so-and-so, the Ohio State. And it was like, what? The what? You're going to say the in front of it? So then I felt encouraged to walk in front of the camera and say, the BYU, like Coach Mack always says.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I had to play the BYU.
Mm-hmm.
But it always bugged me. Like, who do you think you are?
Yeah. But yeah, no, they're the best out there. Just ask them. Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. What does Utah need to work on in this bye week outside of just getting healthy? What can be improved upon with the current roster in place? We'll talk more about it coming up next. Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.